Ancient warriors were jacked, lean, and functional into old age. No gyms, no protein shakes, no calorie-counting apps. And yet the average modern person, with access to every health tool ever invented, is fatter, more tired, and more broken than any warrior generation in human history. Something went very wrong. And it did not happen because you are lazy. It happened because the world changed faster than your biology could follow. In the next 12 minutes, you are going to find out exactly what ancient warriors did that kept them lean for life, and why modern life has quietly stripped every single one of those things away from you without you even noticing. Let us start with the thing nobody talks about. Ancient warriors almost never exercised, not the way you think of exercise. They did not have a workout window. They did not block off an hour in the morning and then sit still for the rest of the day. Their entire day was physical. A samurai's morning included sword drills, archery, and horseback training, not as a routine, but as a way of life. A Spartan soldier walked miles before a battle even started. A Roman legionary carried 45 kilograms of gear across 20 miles of terrain regularly. Their bodies were never fully still. Movement was not a scheduled activity. It was woven into every hour of their existence. Now look at your day. You wake up and sit at breakfast. You sit in a car or on a train. You sit at a desk for 8 or 9 hours. You sit at dinner. You sit on the couch. And maybe, if you are disciplined, you squeeze in 45 minutes at the gym 3 times a week. And yet you wonder why the fat is not moving. Here is the part that changes everything. That 1 hour of exercise does not cancel out 23 hours of stillness. Studies on metabolic health have shown that prolonged sitting slows the fat-burning enzymes in your body by up to 90%. 90%. That means, even if you trained hard this morning, your body's ability to burn fat has almost completely shut down after 2 hours of sitting at your desk. Ancient warriors never sat still long enough for that switch to flip. Their metabolism never went dormant. And that constant, low-level, unpredictable movement kept them lean without a single gym session in their entire lives. In Japan, this principle is still alive today. The average Japanese person walks significantly more steps daily than the average American, not because they are training, but because their cities are built for walking and their culture never outsourced movement to a machine. You see older Japanese men and women cycling to the market, tending gardens, climbing stairs without a second thought, well into their 80s. They are not trying to burn calories. They are just living in a way the human body was designed for. That is the ancient warrior pattern surviving in modern culture, and it is one of the main reasons Japan's obesity rate is a fraction of what it is in the West. But movement is only part of the story. The second thing ancient warriors did is even more misunderstood, and it has nothing to do with what they ate. It is about when they ate, and more importantly, when they did not. A samurai on campaign might eat 1 or 2 simple meals a day. A Spartan soldier trained to function on minimal food for extended periods. They were not dieting. Circumstances simply did not allow for constant eating, and over time, their bodies became extraordinarily efficient at burning stored fat as fuel during those long stretches without food. They developed something called metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch smoothly between burning food and burning body fat. That ability made them lean, made them sharp, and made them dangerous. Modern humans have had this ability almost completely trained out of them. You eat every 2 to 3 hours. Conventional health advice tells you to never let yourself feel hungry. You snack between meals, drink caloric drinks throughout the day, and keep a constant supply of food moving through your system. And here is what that does at the hormonal level. Every time you eat, especially carbohydrates or sugar, your body releases insulin. Insulin is a storage hormone. When it is present, your body cannot access its fat stores. It is physically blocked from burning fat while insulin is elevated. So if you are eating every few hours, your insulin never fully drops, your body never gets the signal to burn fat, and you stay in storage mode almost permanently. Ancient warriors spent long stretches in fat-burning mode by default. You may not have been in fat-burning mode for years. The Japanese eating philosophy addresses this directly, even if they do not frame it in hormonal terms. There is a concept called hara hachibu, practiced widely in Okinawa, one of the longest-living populations on the planet. It means eat until you are 80% full, then stop. Not because food is scarce, but because the body works better when it is not constantly overwhelmed with digestion. Okinawans also tend to eat earlier in the evening, giving their bodies a long natural overnight window without food. They are not doing intermittent fasting as a trend. They are just eating the way humans ate for thousands of years before food became available at every hour of every day in unlimited quantity. When you eat less frequently and stop before you are stuffed, your insulin has time to drop. Your body shifts into fat-burning mode, and your hunger hormones begin to regulate themselves. The weight does not require a war. It starts to move on its own. Now here is where it gets deeper, and this is the part most health content never touches. The third reason ancient warriors stayed lean has nothing to do with food or movement. It is about stress. Specifically, the shape of stress. In the ancient world, stress was intense and short. A battle lasted hours, not years. A hunt was dangerous. Then it was over. The body flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. Energy surged. The threat was dealt with. And then the nervous system returned to calm. Warriors rested hard after they fought hard. Many cultures, including the samurai tradition, built deliberate rituals of stillness into daily life. Meditation, breathing practice, tea ceremony, time in nature. These were not luxuries. They were understood as essential to maintaining peak performance. The recovery was as important as the training. That balance is what kept the system healthy. Modern stress does not work like that. It is not intense and short. It is mild and endless. Emails, deadlines, debt, social comparison, news, notifications, noise, artificial light at midnight. The body cannot tell the difference between a physical threat and a psychological one. It responds to all of it with the same cortisol response. And when cortisol stays elevated day after day, something very specific happens inside your body. It drives fat storage directly into the abdominal area. It breaks down muscle tissue. It disrupts the hormones that regulate appetite, making you hungry for sugar and fat even when you do not need calories. It degrades sleep quality, which then raises cortisol further the next day, which then drives more fat storage. It is a loop, and millions of people are stuck in it right now, blaming their diet, blaming their lack of discipline, when the real driver is a nervous system that has been living in low-level emergency for years. Japan addresses this through a practice called Shinrin-yoku, which translates to forest bathing. It is not a wellness trend. It is a nationally recognized therapeutic practice. Spending slow, deliberate time in nature, not exercising, just being present, has measurable effects on cortisol levels, blood pressure, and nervous system recovery. Japanese culture also places strong value on the evening wind down, a hot bath before bed, quiet after a certain hour, consistent sleep times. These habits sound small, but at the hormonal level, they are doing something powerful. They are telling the body that the threat is over, that it is safe to stop storing, that it is time to recover. Ancient warriors knew this instinctively. Their rituals of rest were not soft. They were strategic. And the lean physique that ancient warriors carried was partly a result of a nervous system that knew how to fully recover. The fourth factor is one most people have never even considered. Ancient warriors spent the majority of their lives outside. Not on purpose, just because that was the world, and that constant outdoor exposure did something to their biology that almost no modern person experiences consistently. It set their circadian clock, the internal 24-hour timer that governs when your body produces which hormones, when it burns fat, when it builds muscle, when it releases melatonin, when it sharpens focus, and when it slows down to repair. Morning sunlight hitting the eyes within the first hour of waking sends a direct signal to the brain to synchronize this entire system. Noonlight tells the body it is midday. Dimming light in the evening begins the wind-down sequence. Fat metabolism, hunger hormones, sleep quality, and stress hormone timing are all downstream of this clock. When the clock is accurate, the body functions in a coordinated, efficient rhythm. When it is disrupted, everything gets noisy. Modern humans have shattered this clock completely. You wake up in a dark room, look at a bright screen, spend the day under fluorescent light, go outside briefly, if at all, and stay up late under artificial light that tells your brain it is still the middle of the afternoon. Your body does not know when it is morning. It does not know when to burn fat. It does not know when to stop being hungry. It does not know when to sleep deeply. This circadian disruption alone, completely separate from diet or exercise, is enough to cause weight gain, hormonal dysregulation, chronic fatigue, and accelerated aging. The ancient warrior's body was always synchronized with the natural world. Yours may not have been for years, and no amount of clean-eating fixes a broken clock. Here is what happens when you start putting these pieces back together. When you add low-level movement throughout your day, not just gym sessions, but walking after meals, taking stairs, standing, moving your body in small ways consistently, your fat-burning enzymes reactivate. Your metabolism stops going dormant every afternoon. Your body starts behaving more like it was designed to. When you extend the gaps between your meals and allow real hunger to return before you eat, your insulin has time to drop. Your body rediscovers its ability to burn fat as fuel, and your appetite begins to self-regulate without you having to track a single calorie. When you start protecting your nervous system with deliberate recovery, whether that is a slow walk outside, a consistent bedtime, or even just turning off screens an hour before sleep, your cortisol begins to normalize. The belly fat that stress hormones drove into storage starts to respond. When you get outside in the first 30 minutes after waking and let real morning light hit your eyes, your circadian clock begins to recalibrate. Your sleep deepens, your energy stabilizes, your hunger patterns become predictable. Everything is downstream of that clock. None of this requires perfection. It requires alignment. Ancient warriors were not lean because they tried harder. They were lean because the structure of their daily life kept their biology in balance. You can recreate that structure in a modern life. Walk after every meal, even for 10 minutes. Eat your first meal when you are genuinely hungry. Get outside within 30 minutes of waking. Create quiet in your evening. These are not difficult things, but they are ancient things. And they work because they are working with a body that has not changed in 100,000 years, even if the world around it has changed beyond recognition. If this shifted something for you, hit the like button now and subscribe if you are not already, because the next video goes even deeper. We are breaking down exactly why Japanese people almost never get obese. And it is not what you think. It is not the food. It is something hidden in the structure of their daily life that most people walk right past without ever seeing it. That video is next. Do not skip it.